Yeah, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and because it's Friday, or unless you're watching this review on a Saturday or Sunday or Monday, then I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm posting this on a Friday, so I decided why not review Friday, which is a film that I've been requested to review many times over. This is a 1995 film directed by F. Gary Gray, and Friday. If this is a movie that I watched so many times as a kid, which might sound funny because looking at the material, it's rated R. It's a lot of stuff in here that I can't believe I watched this as a kid, but it was on TV like all the time. First, let me talk about the plot. The plot. You have Ice Cube as this character, Craig, who got fired on his day off. How does that happen? I don't know. But he's sitting around the house trying to figure out what to do next until his good friend Smokey, played by Chris Tucker, shows up and says, "Look, you're having a weird day. Let's get high. Let's smoke some weed for the very first time in your life and just sort of forget your problems." The problem is that this is weed that Smokey is supposed to sell for this guy, Big Worm. And when Big Worm finds out that they're smoking his weed and not selling it so they don't have his money, he says he's going to come back at 10 o'clock to kill them both. Yeah. Now, like I said, I love this film. I do. It's hilarious. That's first and foremost, is that this is just a fun movie. And I don't know how I can say this without sounding weird, but when it comes to predominantly black comedies, I don't really, I guess I just don't find myself watching a whole lot of them, or I don't find myself liking a whole lot of them. I don't know, we could get into this. I don't really know what else to say besides the fact that I don't think a lot of them are written all that well, or, you know, I'm not saying they don't exist, good ones, but for me they're few and far between. So this film, I just think it has a lot going on for it. The carefree attitude that they have in this movie. Obviously, this will relate and represent a lot of people who grew up in a similar neighborhood, the ghetto or the hood. And when you look at the plot, it all takes place on Friday, one day, where technically you could say not a lot happens, or they don't go to a lot of places. I mean, it's just on this one street, and they go to like a couple of houses, but it's just really in front of Craig's house for almost the whole time. But yet you're entertained because there's so much to like. Like Ice Cube, first of all. You almost forget how good Ice Cube is in this movie because a lot of people are quick to talk about Chris Tucker and Smokey and his lines and all of that. But Ice Cube's really funny here. He has a lot of moments where it's just him interacting with his family, or moments when he's looking into the camera and just having a moment with the audience. Stuff like that I really liked watching him. Or the part where he smokes weed for the first time and gets high and starts tripping, and he's on his couch talking to Nia Long, and he sees like the dog statues and he thinks they're like talking to him, and he's like, "What? Am I tripping right now?" Like, I love scenes like that. I didn't know that Ice Cube wrote this movie until the Straight Outta Compton movie, where they showed that in the movie, and I was sitting there like, holy fuck, he wrote Friday? And yeah, you look at the back of this, written by Ice Cube. What? That just blows my mind. That makes me respect Ice Cube so much more. But obviously we have to talk about Chris Tucker as Smokey. He is the best thing in this film. There's no doubt about it. There's other funny things in the movie, sure. There's other moments in the movie that make me laugh. But when you think about Friday, when you talk to your friends about Friday, what comes up the most? Smokey and his lines of dialogue. Just Chris Tucker is so animated. He's so over the top, but that's what makes him funny. He is your best friend that's out of control, that smokes weed all the time, who doesn't give a shit about anything. And I love everything about Smokey. He has so many quotable moments, like whenever somebody gets knocked out, "You got knocked the fuck out!" Like, come on. And you know this, man. Okay, look, I said before this review that I wasn't going to just quote this movie left and right, but I found myself doing it. what can you do? There's no other way to describe this movie, or Chris Tucker for that matter, without getting into these lines of dialogue. I love everything about the character. The Friday movies have not been the same since him not being in any of the sequels. Let's talk about Debo. Tiny Lester Jr., which is the most ironic name for a guy ever. And some people might know him as Zeus from either No Holds Barred or his brief stint in wrestling. But this is the movie that I think most people know him for, Debo. Just the music that plays whenever he shows up on that bicycle and everybody seems to be scared of him and he's so quick to steal everybody's jewelry, or he's just the ultimate bully, the ultimate dick. But still, even that provides with some entertainment. You have Nia Long as Debbie, who's this girl who lives across the street that Ice Cube is very interested in. Nia Long, I almost forget how attractive she was, or even still is. But in this movie especially, she's hot. She's hot, and maybe you could say there's not like a whole lot to her character, but she's just the nice girl next door. What can you not like about somebody like her? The cast of characters are endless. There's so many people that I can't begin to get them all. But some of them, John Witherspoon as Ice Cube's father, is hilarious. Just hilarious. Some of the moments where, he's a mailman. So he comes home from work and he got his ass bitten by a dog, and literally there's a hole in his pants. And then when he calls for Craig to come to his room while he's watching some random movie of a mailman getting his ass bitten by a dog, I'm like, what movie is that? But he's asking to get him water. There's another scene where he's in the bathroom taking a shit, wanting to talk to his son. Like, there's so many moments. I can't begin to describe just how funny he is with his mannerisms. Bernie Mac shows up in this movie. I almost forget that he's in this film as a pastor who comes in, of course, sleeps with one of the neighbors' wife. Yeah. Felicia is Nia Long's sister in this movie. And not only is Felicia just a goofy character who's, a little ratchet, I guess you could call her, but it's amazing after so many years, 20 years, exactly, that this movie has been out, that Felicia, her character, or the lines with her, the moment with her, is still a meme today. It's still a saying today by Felicia. Like, people say that now. I don't know how that came back, but that's hilarious. Big Worm is the guy that Smokey owes money to, and just seeing him drive up, or even when he's in his ice cream truck and his hair is all permed out. Like, come on. How can you not have fun with this movie or just enjoy this film? Sure, the end of it might get a little dark with the drive-by and the potential death threats that come to the two characters, but still, the moment when Ice Cube has to fight with Debo and then kicks his ass and finally takes down the big bully. A lot of good moments in this film. I love this movie. I feel like I've just been talking and rambling about it, but what can I say? It's a great film, a great comedy film. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Friday, the original Friday? Do you like it as much as I do? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!